It's I like to say it's chef thirst traps.
Yeah.
That's what they are. They're chef thirst traps.
But you also have to recognize, and you got to play into it too.
Yeah.
But within reason and balance, and I think that's the way the competition works too. You're always trying to find that balance between the aesthetics of the competition as well as the flavor of the competition. So it's just, you need there is a balance there. There is a ratio that I think works, and we're always trying to figure out what items need to lean more into flavor and what needs to be more aesthetic, and then we kind of make sure that everything kind of has its role in the competition.
Thinking about food trends and flavor and all that with Bocuse, but also just restaurants in general, kind of segueing into that a little bit, why do you think the Nordic countries are doing so well, not just in the with restaurants like Noma and everything that's coming out of Copenhagen and just that whole area, but also in the competition? What is it that they got going on that, I mean, seem to catch most people by surprise over the last few years?
I mean, we get to look at it from our perspective. It's new and it's different, right?
Yep.
And that's, I mean, just like everything, you see it's like growing up and you have a girlfriend and you see another girl walks by that's a little prettier. You're like, oh man, what's that?
Yeah.
And so it's the same thing in food and restaurants, right? You're always looking for the new pretty one, right? And then it's like, what are they doing? Oh, that's different. That's, I want to go try that. I want to go do that. And so, I think, the Nordic country and Noma has really kind of blown it up, and it's different. And, when it's new and it's different, it's interesting, and you want to learn about it. You want to know more about it. You want to try it. You want to taste it. You want to so I feel like, it's kind of fits in that same realm of conversation, because we can have what we do here all the time, right? But we can't have that all the time. So when we see it, it's much different. But also, I think they're executing. I think in terms of the competition, they found a formula that worked really well, right? And the technique and the design of what they do is really beautiful, and they just kept refining it.
Yeah.
I think from our perspective and what we need to do, from the U.S. side of things is we need to go back to what was successful, and we need to refine that process.
Yeah.
Rather than starting fresh. I almost feel like most of the chefs that come on, it's just like, they want to put their own stamp and approval and an identity to it. And I'm not saying that you can't do that. It's just trying to not lose focus of what was already successful and kind of building upon that success. Yeah. And I think that's what, these Nordic countries do. If you look at it, it's like most of that food was built by Rasmus and was continued to work, through a lot of Rasmus technique. And you just see it now slowly evolving into maybe the next generation of Denmark and Norway and these other countries. But it's like, they have a refined touch and this kind of feminine beauty in their food that I think, shines in the competition.
Let me think. I wanted to ask this. Not necessarily regarding the competition, but regarding some of the way food is now, but also kind of where it comes from. You look at chefs like Thomas or René or Ferran or Bocuse, and then a lot of food is just derivatives of what they've done.
Yeah.
Right. And there's a lot of other chefs on that list too. So I'm just naming a few. But like people are cooking, when the French Laundry cookbook came out, a lot of people were doing that. A lot of people started doing what Ferran was doing. When Grant was doing what he was doing, a lot of people started to do exact copies of Alinea or cooking straight out of the Noma cookbook and put it on their menu.